From the banks of the Allegheny, welcome to Film Bits 7, Part 6. Well, the one thing I've learned about trying to do this on YouTube with 7 is they're not going to let a lot of sound come through because it seems like any musical note they pick up, they fight the copyright. So this is going to be a particularly difficult episode to do. You're not going to hear a lot of sound, and I'm probably going to do a lot of editing, so this will be shorter. So let's pick it up from the shot where they're just done with loading Sloth into the ambulance. We get this nice rising shot of the giant penny stores. Now here we have Somerset and Mills talking, and what Somerset is trying to tell Mills is to be calm. Don't let your emotions get a hold of you. We've got to approach this, and then a cameraman comes up. And we see that look that Somerset gives Mills, and that's because he was just trying to tell him to be calm and be rational, and let's work through this because Mills is in charge of this case. And then and Somerset just realizes that it's not going to work. This kid is just a hothead. Great line there before he turned. It's impressive to watch a man feeding off his emotions. Okay, here's a hospital scene with Sloth. The one thing I want to note here is that this not much going on in this scene is I love those signs. We get a nice pan. The stair sign and the elevator sign, the lit signs, it just feels like the 1930s or 40s. Again, I just want to see the greenish tinge that seems to be on the paint on the walls. Could be white, but it's definitely lit to me to look like a lighter olive-ish green. I'm going to skip past this scene now. We'll go to the next one. Okay. So in this next scene, we start with a shot kind of at profile back of Somerset, and a phone call is coming in. He picks up the phone, and who's on the phone is Tracy, Mills's wife, which is a little surprising to Somerset. Well, I mean, she's only met him once, and he's thinking, why are you calling me? Now, notice how she's lit more darkly. Before, in the last scene, last episode, when they were having dinner, there was much more, or maybe the episode before that, there was much more bright lighting around her. Now she's cast in the shadow, and the light is from the side. We see similarly here the way that Somerset is lit, a little from the back and a little from the side, but his profile closest to us is very, very dark and shadowed. To me, this relates to not necessarily what they're talking about, but both kind of how their moods are at the moment. Somerset knows that there's a problem. Here we go to Friday. Somerset knows that there's going to be a problem with this killer, and what Mills's wife is going to say to Somerset here in this diner is also problematic. The rain, even though we can't hear it or see it, the rain is persistent. A man was just walking by with an umbrella. There we see the rain behind Somerset. Now that they're out and it's daytime, they're both a little bit more well lit. Again, I'm getting some greenish tinge and vibe there to the right above Somerset's head. The sign, maybe it's just me. Or not. So the discussion here really is about how she hates the city, and she hasn't told her husband yet, but she's pregnant. So she's breaking this news to Somerset before she tells her husband. And she just doesn't know if she wants to raise the baby in this city. And Somerset relates to her that he and a significant other of his were pregnant at one time, and he convinced her to get rid of the baby, and he has regretted that decision ever since. And he says to her at the end of this conversation, this is a decision for you and Mills to make, but if you love that baby, spoil it until you can't spoil it anymore. There's some more umbrellas there outside in the window. But that's about all with this scene. We're going to move forward here, and then we're going to pick up our thumbnail scene here, which is the shot pull back of the chalkboard, pardon me. Now, there's back and forth discussion here between Somerset and Mills as they get at the plotting of this guy. Somerset really focuses on how patient he is. how long it took to kill Sloth. It took a year, and he got him antibiotics. And look at Mills spinning around in a chair like a kid. Mills is very much, he's either like hyperactive ADHD or he is really in a case of arrested development, because you can just even see in his body language. He just wants to go, go, go. Like he can solve this if he were just doing something rather than sitting around. Nice wide shot. You don't get too many wide shots in this film if you've noticed, but a nice wide shot of their office. Mills just came up with an idea that was just ludicrous of what the murderer was doing right now, dancing around in his granny's panties and rubbing himself with peanut butter, because Mills just wants to wrap this up with, this guy's crazy, this guy's a nut. Somerset knows that's not the case here. We are not dealing with a crazy man. He is methodical, and as Somerset says, and worst of all, he's patient. Somerset's off the job in a few days, and he's trying to get Mills to use his skills and to take some advice from a guy who's been on this job in this city for all these years, and Mills is just not wired that way. But Somerset's going to keep trying. I mean, really, Somerset's acting almost in an advisory case here. Mills is lead detective on this. Somerset's just kind of helping because, as you remember, he said near the beginning of the movie, he can't do this. He's retiring in a month or in a week. Now, Mills just said something about a library card. Just because he's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda. The library card, going back to the illusions of, the Chaucer and the things that Somerset tried to give Mills. But it sparks an idea in Somerset. Here's a nice camera move, this tracking shot. Again, we don't get, at least thus far, we haven't got too many of those. And now they're going to go to another diner to meet up with a contact of Somerset's from the FBI. And they're going to take this list of books that they compiled. There's the library again that Mills likes to, or that Somerset likes to go to. He's going to compile all of these book titles that are connected to the 7 deadly sins. And, oh, by the way, green flyers that person is hanging out. And isn't it interesting that they shot him from the neck down? We didn't even see his face. It's a weird cutaway. And so they're at this diner, and Somerset is going to arrange to hand this set of titles to this guy from the FBI, this undercover guy he knows. Or not undercover guy, just a contact he has in the FBI. And this guy will be able to help them see if one person has checked out a number of these titles. Interesting framing there, too, as we stayed with the seated 2 cops, but we cut off the head of the FBI agent. Looking out the windows, it's not raining. That might be the first time we could see that. For whenever we were in an interior to where we can look at the exterior, first time we haven't seen rain. I like the touch of the stuck gum underneath the tables as well. And then he takes Mills' pizza. Mills says, yeah, help yourself. But Somerset had said to him before when they got there that the restaurant had 50 health code violations, and that's where we'll pause it. All right, so hopefully I can have a little bit more sound the next episode. It's always going to be a crapshoot. Fincher likes to use a lot of music, so we'll just see what we can do as we go along. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. See you at the next one. Bye-bye.